Would you like to be seen as a confident leader in your industry and go from average or slightly above average presentation skills to someone who communicates with complete authority? Do you want the higher levels of success in your career and life that can only come from being more persuasive every time you communicate, whether it's to a large or small audience, virtual or in person? Hi, it's TJ Walker, and along with my colleague Jess Todfeld, we're going to show you how to be seen as a confident and authoritative leader in your industry. You may have thought, I want to command attention and respect whenever I communicate with others. Or, I aspire to be seen as a leader in my industry, and I want my speaking skills to reflect that. But you may have convinced yourself you don't have the right amount of charisma. Not true. We'll show you how to consistently deliver high-quality presentations and communication. You may have thought, I want to eliminate the yo-yo effect in the quality of my presentations. One day they're great, the next day, just so-so. And you might have told yourself, I need to consistently perform at a high level, regardless of the situation. Well, guess what? You can. And you'll learn how to use communication skills to achieve higher levels of success in your career. Now, you may be thinking, I want to win more clients and sell more ideas, products, or services through my presentations. And even, I want to be able to sell my ideas more persuasively in every interaction. I'm here to tell you, you can. And we'll show you how to turn prospects into paying clients after every pitch, and without having to attend acting school, changing your personality, or trying to memorize fancy buzzwords. We're going to show you in this video exactly how we've helped clients advance their careers to reach the highest levels of leadership positions in their industry. Some have gotten 3 promotions in 18 months. Others have improved their closing rate by as much as 400%. We'll show you how to get a higher percentage of those prospects who were on the fence and could go either way, and get them to go your way. The bottom line is this: every time you show up, in person or online, people are making judgments about you and about what they think you can do for them. They're judging whether they want to work with you, hire you, collaborate with you, and engage with you. They're judging whether you are a leader, someone they should look up to and follow, or simply another competent person they can ignore. In their gut, they're judging whether they're confident you can deliver for them and help them. And this comes in part from how they judge your level of confidence. Here's a hint. If they perceive you are anything, and I mean anything less than 100% confident in your ability to help them, to lead them, they will not follow you or buy from you. They will not become a client of yours or want to work on your team. Executives who reach the pinnacle of their profession realize their number one asset is themselves. Their greatest chance of landing whale clients, of convincing key decision makers, of selling their ideas to the most important stakeholders, this all comes from how they present themselves in every meeting, briefing, and presentation. Executives who show up as leaders with a client-focused mentality end up getting more of everything. Whether that means placing an order today, renewing a contract, issuing a buy recommendation for your stock, or inviting you to speak at the top event in your industry. This is why it's essential for you to learn the secret of how to project more leadership every time you speak or present. Ever notice that everyone in your industry thinks Steve Jobs was a fantastic leader and was great at selling his products, his vision, and his ideas every time he gave a presentation? And yet nobody shows up on a stage and presents like Steve Jobs. But here's the thing. Yes, Jobs had exceptional, rare talents to create a company like Apple, but Steve Jobs had no unique talents when it came to communicating with his customers and thought leaders. I know, it's heresy to say that, but he simply had a different mindset and strategy for how he got the rest of the world to buy his value, his ideas, and his vision. This is a leadership communication skill set you can discover and put to use every time you give a presentation. Now, let me be clear. We can't teach you how to create a company as valuable as Apple, but we can teach you how to convey complete, and total confidence in your ideas and yourself in a way that screams out leadership as well or better than Steve Jobs did. At some level, in your gut, you know that you can gain a competitive edge in your industry through strong communication skills. You've probably thought, I see strong communication skills as a tool that can give me a significant advantage in my career. Or maybe, I believe improving my presentation skills will open doors and opportunities for me. And you've concluded, I want to stand out from the competition and be remembered as an outstanding communicator. In this video, we'll show you what 99% of you who are trying to advance, win promotions, or start new businesses are doing wrong when it comes to how you're selling yourself, especially by trying to use fancier slides, rehearsing, or even memorizing. Because this causes you to bore people, whether they're your colleagues, your clients, or even prospects when you're trying to close deals. And we'll show you exactly what to do instead today with our simple 5-step process for turning anyone with average presentation skills into someone who's seen as a confident and compelling leader. Whether it's to 5 people or 5,000 people, whether it's in person or on Zoom, whether it's being interviewed on CNBC or alone in a room making a YouTube video. Our client John came to us with a good problem. John was a successful portfolio manager earning a very high salary working for a 100-year-old mutual fund company. But he wanted more. John said, TJ, Jess, I want to start my own company. My presentation skills got me to where I am, but now I'm leaving my big company and starting my own thing. And I've got to get to a whole new level and quickly. I'm no longer just a smart guy on a team that's been around for 100 years. Now I'm starting my own company, and I am the brand. I've got to be seen as the leader. I'm the guy. And I'm going to have to spend almost every waking moment talking to investors, prospects, employees, clients, the news media, and regulators. I've got to up my game quickly. I need a whole new level of leadership communication skills here. Help! He went on to say, I'm very comfortable talking with a prospect sitting down one-to-one, out of my comfort zone when I have to present to larger groups. I feel a little anxious and I tense up. I sometimes read my PowerPoint and I don't feel likable or like anyone's enjoying the talk. Here's the thing, I need to be great if I'm going to raise money from institutional investors, recruit a team, and sell my brand's message on CNBC. It's not enough for me just to seem smart and competent. In order for me to really get to where I want to go, I have to be compelling and memorable every time I show up. I have to demonstrate that I'm a leader other people will follow every time I speak. So we worked with John and got him to the point where he became one of the most popular stars at every financial conference, foundation pitch, and media event he went to. He quit his job and then started his own fund from scratch. He spent most of his time meeting with investors, making pitch presentations for the next 18 months. The result? He soon had $2.5 billion under management. Now, he was always a good financial analyst and investor, but when he packaged those skills with the ability to sell his products, services, and vision, it became a life-changing event. He became a respected industry leader. Going from having an ordinary ability to present and sell your ideas in front of an audience to someone who's great because they give fantastic high-stakes presentations every time, regardless of audience size. Now, it won't necessarily make you a billionaire, but it can be a truly life-changing event for you and your family. We can teach you the same skills we taught John, even if you're not naturally charismatic, funny, or have a strong voice. Now, since you're here on this page, it means you're likely frustrated with inconsistency in your presentation quality. You may feel, I'm comfortable speaking to small groups, but I get nervous when I speak in front of large groups. Or I feel like I'm back to a 5 on a 1 to 10 scale when speaking in uncomfortable situations. Your desire is, I want to be more confident, memorable every time I speak or present. You also want rapid improvement in your presentation skills. You may be thinking, I have a sudden, strong desire to become a much better communicator quickly. Or I don't have time or interest in attending long courses or programs. And possibly you're thinking, I want to dramatically improve my presentation skills in the next 90 days. You desire to reach higher levels of career success. For a long time, you've thought, I aspire to be in a top leadership position in my industry, and I want to communicate like a confident and persuasive leader. Also, I want to sell my ideas and products more effectively every time I speak or present. Chances are you're dissatisfied with just practicing on your own or taking online courses to improve your speaking skills. You may be thinking, I've tried rehearsing on my own and practicing in front of a mirror. I'm not satisfied with my progress. And even I feel pain when I know I gave a presentation that wasn't great. You may have concluded, I'm ready to invest in my presentation skills with a professional. Perhaps you're frustrated with the fact that you don't wow every prospect, client, or colleague you meet with. You aren't consistently selling your vision, your products and services every time you have the opportunity to present. Sure, you display a certain level of confidence and competence, especially when you're talking one-on-one to somebody you like. But if a few more people come into the room and you have to stand to present your ideas, maybe your heart starts racing. Uh-oh. You might not be visibly sweating, but inside, you're no longer confident that you look and sound your best or that you're even interesting. You're no longer convinced that you're winning over prospects or that they're buying your ideas. Of course, you hate the idea of not knowing whether your messages or style are really getting through to your prospects. And you dread certain types of high-stakes sales presentations. Maybe speaking to a larger than usual audience freaks you out. Or perhaps having to speak virtually when you can't even see the prospects makes you uncomfortable. You're afraid your presentation skills may come across as someone who's not ready for prime time. Or maybe talking to a reporter or podcaster knowing every buyer in your industry will see the story. Maybe that's enough to give you nightmares. Sometimes you're overwhelmed by the sheer number of slides your team or advisors are asking you to use in a sales presentation. But it feels unprofessional or even like you're naked if you don't use a bunch of slides. You've gone from someone who comes across as compelling and commanding, talking to one client over dinner, to someone who seems like a low-level butler there to be the assistant to a slide deck, and you're tired feeling like the butler. Maybe you're feeling great about your ability to ace an interview or win new clients during these comfortable one-on-one presentations to an ideal prospect, when there are no time limitations and no pressure. But you feel less than confident when you have to appear on Zoom and you can't even tell if people are listening to you or if they're playing video games on their iPhone. Maybe you've tried Toastmasters and they're fine if you have lots of free time. Maybe you've read a lot of biographies on charismatic leaders like Churchill and the Roosevelts, only to be confused on what exactly made them charismatic presenters. You've tried rehearsing your presentations with colleagues or even family, but that can sometimes lead to more frustrations and doubts. Perhaps you've even tried to video record yourself giving a pitch once and then watching. Unfortunately, this can demoralize most people and remind you that you hate the sound of your own voice. You're left feeling frustrated that you're not advancing as quickly as you should be, or that you're leaving money on the table. So the difference between you pitching the board of directors or a new client prospect while using average presentation skills versus exuding a winning leadership presence and delivering great presentations, that's having a big impact on your career, your life, and your legacy. You want to persuade people in your industry by presenting your ideas in a way that's consistently engaging. You don't want or need to be perfect, but you do want to be consistently comfortable in your own skin and to make others comfortable around you every time you meet, talk, or present. And that includes not just one-on-one meetings, but small group presentations, speaking to larger audiences, making recorded talking head video pitches, speaking virtually, or talking to news or industry media, and possibly even hosting your own podcast or YouTube show. In order to make the biggest positive impact on your business and your bottom line, you need to exude leadership, get people excited about your ideas, or persuade prospects to become clients every time you present. You need to persuade stakeholders to buy into your vision. You need customers to want to buy more. You want to feel like you aren't just bouncing up and down from day to day when it comes to how you come across in big meetings and pitches. You want to know that you nailed it. Does it mean every single person is going to say yes to you? But you can know that you've done your best every time. While you've had some successes, ultimately, you're desperate for a solution that takes the inconsistency out of your high-stakes presentations. Right now, you don't have to wonder or worry about sending documents filled with typos and spelling errors to your clients and prospects, right? Why? It's because you use spell check. Wouldn't you like a system to help you eliminate the less than great elements in your own high-stakes presentations? You want a consistent way of preparing and delivering your presentations in the least amount of time possible. You don't want to look and sound like an ordinary middle manager. You don't want to seem like a bureaucrat. You want to be seen as a confident, engaging authority. You want to be a leader. And you might also want to generate more sales and more revenue. Let me tell you about a different client, Melinda. Melinda was a sales manager at a large insurance company who came to us more than a decade ago. Life was pretty good for her. She was making $250,000 a year, but after going through our 5-step process, her sales presentation started getting more dramatic results. She said, TJ, I have so much more confidence now when I show up in front of clients and prospects because I know I'm going to be more interesting, more memorable, and more relaxed than my competitors. I'm seen as a real thought leader in my industry. The deals are just coming in much more easily now. Melinda's income quickly went from $250,000 a year to $500,000 a year. Imagine what your life would be like if your income could double in the next year, or if your business could double in size in the next 18 months. Imagine if you could get the next 2 promotions you have your eye on. Imagine if you could land a whale client who is 10 times larger than the biggest client you currently have. Imagine if every meeting with colleagues and clients ended with them truly understanding your unique value to them because your presentation skills were dramatically better. Imagine they saw you as an authoritative leader, but without you investing in more expensive PowerPoint designs and without having to block off days or weeks of rehearsal time. This way, you could focus your time giving more value to your prospects and really connecting with them as individuals. Prospects and people in your field would actually enjoy spending time with you, hearing from you, and learning about the value you can provide them because they know you're interesting and you're helping them solve real problems. This will generate more influence for you and often more revenue and profits for your business. And this means you can get the professional respect and compensation you deserve, not by working harder or longer, but by communicating like a real person in an interesting, comfortable, and memorable manner, and by exuding a presence people enjoy being around. If you're a successful professional who resonates with any of this, we know exactly how you feel. Jess and I have worked in person with tens of thousands of professionals all over the world, just like you. Most of our clients are people who are already successful, just like you. But there's a new challenge in their life, either a new promotion they just received or are about to receive, or they're starting a big new venture, like starting their own company. Suddenly, they realize that the presentation skills that got them to their current level of success won't take them to where they want to go. They want to be seen as confident and authoritative leaders every time they speak, and they're just not there yet. They used to tell me, TJ, I'm comfortable in my own skin meeting with people one-on-one. People tell me I'm fun, likable, knowledgeable. Things change when I have to present in front of larger groups. Suddenly, I'm uncomfortable. I play it safe by reading slides so I don't screw up. But the result is I bore people and they tune out. It's like I'm the opposite of the Incredible Hulk. I get smaller and I lose all of my strength. They feel frustrated. Some have tried online acting classes, some tried teleprompters, some tried big once a week in-person classes, some tried meditation. One client even tried taking beta blocker drugs to calm herself down before she went on CNBC to pitch investors on her billion-dollar mutual fund. But nothing was working for them to the point of feeling great about their pitches to clients and customers in high-stakes situations. In addition to working with thousands of successful business executives like you, we've trained presidents of countries, CEOs, prime ministers, professional athletes, Miss Universes, and even Nobel Peace Prize winners. All of them were successful at many levels, and yet none of them felt completely confident that they were selling their ideas, their visions, their products or services when they had to give high-stakes presentations. They told themselves they weren't naturally charismatic. They thought they'd be forgetful, so they had to read their scripts, which in turn made them feel like they were boring, and they often were boring. They were convinced they had to act more professional, which only made them stiffer and less conversational and interesting. In fact, I remember back in the early days of our career as coaches, we accidentally made things worse for some of our clients. We were guilty of video recording them and then dissecting their presence for an hour, telling them every single little thing they did wrong. I remember one time, Jess and I had just finished a day-long training for a small group of financial service professionals. We were in our Midtown Manhattan training studio, and all the bright lights were on. Shane rushed up to us saying, "Hey, TJ, Jess, this was the best professional training day I've ever had. You guys are great. Everything was so interesting. You're fantastic speakers." Now, my chest pumped up and I felt great. I said, "Thanks, Shane. You must be really excited about giving your next client sales presentation at the Morningstar conference in 3 weeks, right?" But then Shane said, "Oh no, I still don't like how I speak. I'm still a lousy presenter. I can't stand to speak. But you guys sure taught me a lot about what I'm doing wrong." Oh no. We realized at that point we weren't really helping our clients. We failed. We weren't helping them get better. We had to completely revamp our training techniques. It was time to try something completely different. Now, after working with 2 million online students over the last few decades and having trained executives live and in person in 45 countries, we've learned the secret to making anyone communicate like a confident and authoritative leader. This is when we perfected our technique, the 5-step process, which I want to share with you. But before we do, let me share what I find are the 5 biggest mistakes you're making that are ruining your chances of selling to your prospects and making you seem ordinary whenever you show up to speak. Too much stuff, too many facts, too many numbers and bullet points. This always creates failure. Boring slides that aren't visually compelling. You're using your slides as your notes, which is lazy. Stripping out the stories, case studies, and examples because there's not enough time. Failing to practice your talks and presentations the right way, which means you're practicing in front of your live audience the one and only time you give the presentation. Having a mindset that says, "I'm not a natural-born charismatic person. I can never be much above average in my selling abilities or presentation skills in front of a group or when I speak." Any one of these blunders can destroy your ability to persuade clients or key stakeholders. The good news is they are all easily fixable. But I want to be clear. If you don't fix these mistakes, there is no solution that anyone can give you that will make you able to persuade prospects into becoming your clients. Even the 5-step process won't help. You may have already tried to solve some of these problems on your own. You may have gone from having 20 bullet points on 20 slides to putting only 3 bullets on 10 slides, but still, your audience left confused. You might have tried to open a sales pitch with a joke, only to have it fall flat or generate a groan or two. You might have arranged your messages with fancy color-coded graphs and charts, only to find your prospects still don't really understand what you do. You may have had every intention of adding stories to your presentation, but when you got your slide deck or your script finished, you felt like, my hands are tied, and there was no place to put them. You might have practiced your presentation in front of a colleague or even video recorded a rehearsal. Only this leads to confusion or even feeling less confident. You might have even tried practicing at a Toastmasters group, but the time demands became too much. And finally, you might have even tried affirmations or visualizations to convince yourself that you're a charismatic person with great sales presentation skills, and all that did was make you feel silly. You've tried a lot of this, but none of them are really working, are they? After going through the 5-step process, our clients now feel completely comfortable if they are pitching their newest product to 10,000 buyers on a stage at the Las Vegas Convention Center. Now, when a client of ours goes on CNBC to tell investors about their company, they don't have to wonder about what camera to look at or what soundbite will be picked up. Now, when a client of ours is selling her peace plan to the United Nations at the General Assembly, she doesn't have to wonder if she's using enough eye contact or hand gestures. And perhaps most fulfilling of all is that our clients don't have to keep coming back to us for more help with their leadership presentation skills. They have become their own best coaches. We've taught them the secret to communicating like a confident leader by giving memorable presentations so that they can be in total control over how they come across whenever they meet with, talk to, or present in front of others for the rest of their careers. By knowing how to prepare for every meeting, call, talk, pitch, or sales presentation for maximum impact, our clients now have the confidence they need to really connect with prospects at a deeper level. This creates stronger relationships. This makes business less stressful, more enjoyable, and a lot more profitable. Our clients are getting the professional and personal respect as leaders they crave and deserve. Not only does this system help you in high-stakes presentations, but it will make you completely confident and at ease for any situation you're in, whether you're a facilitator at an industry conference or the master of ceremonies for your company's awards banquet. Let me tell you about my client, Anton. He was a prime minister of a European country. He had an immediate challenge that he had to sell his legislative proposal to his parliament in less than 24 hours. I asked him to deliver his presentation in his native language while I recorded his speech. He proceeded to read the speech with his head down. When he was done, we watched it. He asked for my analysis. The truth was, I thought he was really boring. I wasn't quite sure what to say, given I was in a remote palatial estate surrounded by guards with machine guns. But finally I said, Mr. Prime Minister, I don't know what you said, but with all due respect, you bored me to death. He looked at me. He narrowed his eyes. He looked at the guards with machine guns. Then he looked at the screen again and said, You're right. It's insanely boring. I don't look like or sound like a leader of a country. I look like a nervous MBA student reading his first presentation in front of an intimidating professor. My presence is awful. And with that, he tore up his speech into little pieces. Now he was ready to try the 5-step presence process. We did it again. Within a short time, he jumped up out of his chair and shouted, I love this guy. Now I look and sound like the leader of country. And he gave me a hug. He was pointing to the video of himself giving his speech the next time. Only this time, he was lively. He was interesting, engaging, and memorable. His presence was captivating. And yes, the Parliament went on to enact his legislation. Here's why this approach worked. Learning how to communicate like a confident leader isn't as complicated as brain surgery or astrophysics. In fact, it's not a complex body of knowledge to learn. It's more like learning how to swim or ride a bike. Now, you can watch videos on how to swim and read a book on how to swim, but until you've gotten into the water and experienced actual swimming with a swim coach, you aren't a swimmer. After working with us, Anton's presence dramatically improved. because he'd seen himself come across exactly how he wanted to come across. Now, if you've been making any one of these mistakes I'm talking about, you may be wondering if the 5-step process might be right for you. You might be thinking, could I transform into a leader in my industry? Could I land a lot more clients and make a lot more sales by improving my presentation skills? Could I start winning bigger and better clients right away? Could I start earning more authority in my industry and get invited to speak at more conferences and podcasts? Could I start generating more respect from my audiences to the point where they actually put their phones down and really pay attention to me? And could I possibly start increasing my sales 100, 200, or even 300% in the near future? If so, then you're seeing this page at a very opportune moment. We have some availability on our calendar for the next couple of days, and I want to give you a chance to book a call to speak directly with us. On this call, we'll share with you the 5-step process. Now, you might be wondering, why don't you just give us the 5-step process here? Well, we need your help to customize this for your specific situation. It's just a little bit different for every person. That's what's special about it. What you are communicating is different from what other people are communicating. The best approach for you has to fit with your personality and your own unique style. You've got to remain authentic. We don't want to give you a cookie-cutter solution. We want to give you something that's actionable and highly specific to your situation, for your business and your industry. And that's what we're going to do on this call. And we'll help you to determine if this 5-step process is a good fit to help you become a true leader in your field and possibly land more clients and sell more of your ideas, your products, and services every time you present throughout your career. We'll talk through what the implementation steps would look like for you improving your own high-stakes presentation skills. Now, we're very selective who we work with, and there is an application process. We only want to work with you if we know we can help you implement your presence to get more clients, authority, and respect and sales. So get ready to provide some information about your goals. If it does look like it's a good fit, we may let you know about one of our programs and how it works and what's involved. And if it doesn't look like it's a fit for what you're doing, we'll let you know that too. Regardless, you'll get a ton of value and clarity on this call for how to move forward in your goal to improve your ability to land more clients by using captivating presentation skills. So we look forward to speaking with you and getting to know you and your particular needs. And we'll see if becoming a client is the right next step for you. So here's what you need to do right now. There should be a button at the bottom of the page below this video. Go ahead and click on that. We don't have much space on our calendar, and this video is only going to be available while there are spaces available. And there's a good chance our calendar will be booked up before the end of the day, today. So don't put this off. Now, I understand that you may feel, I'm afraid that even with training, I won't be able to overcome my nervousness and anxiety during presentations. You might even think, I don't want to embarrass myself or make mistakes in front of important stakeholders. But ignoring the problem isn't making it better. It will only make it worse. You've been struggling to go from someone with average presentation skills to someone who's seen as a confident leader every time. You've got to do something different because what you've been doing clearly isn't working fast enough. You can't just go back to hoping you have an on day or a friendly audience or doing a dry run of the same boring PowerPoint slides. You can't go back to settling for average sales results by giving so-so presentations and hoping the competition is also average or boring. And you certainly can't go back to tweaking slides at 2 a.m. under the delusion that you're working hard to make your presentations more engaging. Your transformation starts with this simple phone call, and we'll show you exactly what to do. And we'll even give you an opportunity, perhaps, for us to help you implement this so you can finally get great at selling your vision every single time you present, no matter how small or large the audience. So click the button on this page right now. Do not miss this opportunity. Click the button, book your call on the next page. There will be a short form you need to fill out so we can get to know your issues and experience level a bit before our call. This will allow us to get the most out of our time together. So we hope this has been insightful. I hope you're excited about finally going in the right direction, because that's exactly what's going to happen at the other end of this call. Click the button now, book your call, fill out the short form on the next page, and we can't wait to speak with you very, very soon.